My name is Mohammed Abdul Shahid. I was born in, at that time it used to call Pakistan, now it's in Bangladesh. I came to United Kingdom on 15th of December 1967. I was 11 and a half years old, and I started living with my father in Oxford. While I was growing up in a village that's called East Pakistan. As I could remember, I went to secondary school there, just joining the secondary school, and I came to this country. Not much of memory at that time. When I came to this country, 11 and a half years old, my father decided to send me to school. When I joined this school, I believe I was the second Bengali child to enter school in Oxford. I went to Charwell School, Marston Ferry Road, from January 1968 until July 1970. I left school, came to visit Salisbury. In Salisbury, my brother had a friend who had a restaurant there. So I was going to spend a week or so with him. But when I came to Salisbury, staying with my brother's friend, I was going out in the town and started liking the town and the people of Salisbury, and I decided to stay there. And I asked my brother, would he give me a job? And he agreed. So I started working in his restaurant. Well, at that time, I think most people was coming from Pakistan is financial reason. My father brought me here that when I grow up, I'll be working, earning. So mostly it's financial reason for coming. Well, when I came to this country, it took me almost 6-7 months before I started liking it. Because when I went to the school in Oxford, because I did not know the language or I did not have any friend, so in the school, there was a classroom for Asian people or people who come from overseas, who cannot speak in English. So there was a class set up for them. So in that class, I was the only Bengali child. So I do not have anybody to speak to or learn to. And there was about 15 or 16 Pakistani boys from West Pakistan. They every day was picking on me. So I was having bad time at school. Same time going back home, there was everybody living in the house. It was a sharing house between all the men who work in factories. So I did not have actually anybody to speak to. And about 6 months or 7 months later, day before, I had a very bad beating at school by Pakistani boys. So next day I did not go to school. By then my father and myself, we moved from 19 West Street to 44 West Street. In that house there was a gentleman and his wife and a young daughter, 6 months old, and my father and myself. So the day I did not go to school, there's an English lady married to a builder, Bengali builder. They came to visit the lady I was staying with. She was surprised when she would see me at home. She asked me why didn't I go to school. So because I did not want to tell her that I got beaten, I told her that there's a party or something going at the school. That's why they told me not to go. So she phoned the school and realized there is nothing like that in school. So she decided to take me to school. So on the way going to school, I explained, that time I, speak few words. So I explained to her what's happened, why I did not want to go to school. So she took me to her teacher and explained to the teacher there's a two part of Pakistan. So most of the boys are from West and I'm the only one from East. That's why they're picking on me. So the head teacher took me the form class that I'm in and told the teacher there, and teacher explained to all the children that I'm not same as the other boys, I'm different. So they all understand what's happening with me. And especially one boy in the class who was very naughty boy of the class, he took me as a friend. From that day, he became my bodyguard. Wherever I went, he was behind me and stopped all the other boys to pick up on me. And all the boys and girls in the class was helping me, loving me so much, everyone bringing me every day sweets, chocolate, this, that. And I was started enjoying in school then, and I started enjoying my life in Oxford and UK. There was a lot of racism from the white, okay, but I did not have much racism from them because it's the Pakistani boys who was picking on me all the time. Yeah. But by the time I became friend with the white people in the class, I could see they picking all the, anywhere they see any black people, they was, but apart from me. So there was a lot of racism at that time. No, I managed to get our own food because my father used to cook for me, and slowly I started learning from my father. So when I used to go back from school, I used to manage to, make something for me. To start with, it was very difficult. That as the time went by, all my class friends, was helping me every day, and they start taking me to their house and things like that. Slowly I started, becoming friend with them and start liking the way of life of theirs. So then when I moved to Salisbury, I had more friends from English society than our own. And that's why the people of Salisbury was so lovely. There wasn't any racism as far as I could go there. And that's what made me to decide to stay in that town. I work in a restaurant. It's a Indian restaurant. Name is Asia Indian Restaurant. That was the first Indian restaurant in Salisbury. Nearest Indian restaurant was in Swindon. This side was Southampton or Bournemouth. So that's the only restaurant around there. And I worked in that restaurant for 3 years for my brother friend. After 3 years, my brother friend had a partner. They decided to sell the restaurant. So my brother friend asked me to find some partners and buy the restaurant. And I said, look, how can I afford to buy your restaurant? He said, why don't you find some partner? And I'll try to help you and see if your family can help you. So I spoke to my uncle, cousins, and everybody. And also because my brother friend, who said he's going to help me, he actually did help me. I found a partner, and we managed to buy the restaurant. That was in July 1973. From then on, I stayed at Salisbury until 1977. Then I opened a restaurant on my own in Warminster, without any partner or anybody. From there, my journey started in a restaurant trade. And I managed to open restaurant in Poole, Dorchester, Weymouth, Wareham, Sherborne, Yeovil, and I carried on until 2002. Then I had a heart attack and I decided to quit. I had enough. As I said, I'd grown up, I can say mostly in Oxford with English people. So when I moved to Salisbury, I had more friends of white than our community because there wasn't any of our community. So I learned to have life of Western way. Same time when I was working in the restaurant, I became friendly with so many hotel manager and owner of the restaurant in the town. And I taken their view of everything inside me. So when I opened my restaurant in Warminster, I went for not late night pint and a curry. I went for a different way of restaurant trade. When I opened my restaurant in Poole in 1981, I took a very big gamble on there. And I set it up a complete different kind of Indian restaurant, different way of dishes and menu, and also inviting most of the prominent people of the town. So rather than late night pint and selling a curry. So from there, my brand was different than any other Indian restaurant around the corner. So I always went out of my way to make more friends with the people of the town and local community. And that's why probably all my business stayed out of all any difficulty problem. My restaurant in Salisbury, it was late night. And every time I used to hate that. And always in my mind I wanted to set up a restaurant like English restaurant or French restaurant. With that view, when I opened my restaurant at Warminster, I used to close at 11. That's why I said I took my gamble. So it's paid me, but not to the extent that I like. Then when I opened the Poole, because it was a bigger community, bigger town, bigger way of everything. I went for it. I went for a complete different version of Indian meal putting on the table. I invented the hot towel. I invented the chocolate. So giving the little bit to my customer extra than the other restaurant on the corner, and presenting the meal different way. So all way I did not have any problem of, getting further ahead with the business.
So the hot towel that you get at the end,
Yeah.
are you saying that's your idea?
Yeah. That's why I took it from a plane. When I was traveling on a flight, and they gave me a towel, and that's where I started thinking, how can I do that? So, way I invented, I bought the small face towels, and used to heat them on a what you used to call the steamer. You got water underneath, you put a whole dishes on the top, and the steam is to come on top. And by doing that, there was a catering supplier up in London, used to call General Catering. I don't know whether they still. And I became known very well to the owner, and was talking to him regarding the hot towel. So he invented first steamer for the hot towel. And then on, everybody started copying each other. I got married in 1974, back in, then it's to call Bangladesh. I got married in 1974. I had my first child in 1975. And my wife and my child came to this country in 1977. When my son came, he was only 2.5 years old. Then all my 3 children was grown up, born in Salisbury. We moved to Warminster, then to Weymouth. My children went to school in Weymouth. And they're grown up in Weymouth. They're still there. My older son is to help me on a weekend. And when he left school, went to college, he went on holiday to Bangladesh. And at that time, I was opening a restaurant in Weymouth, second restaurant. So when he came back, he just went into the restaurant, and he started working there. And he decided he doesn't want to go back to college anymore. So that's where his life started in a restaurant. I gave my children all the freedom, like I had. So I did not used to stop them to going out with a English friend or anything. But at the same time, I teach them valuation of our culture. So my children stuck to more of our culture. And that's why they're still with me, and their children grown up now. So all my I got 2 boys, 1 girl. They're all living in Weymouth. So all my grandchildren, they're grown up. 2 of them finished university. Another one working as a trainee accountant, doing his chartered under firm, chartered accountancy. My other grandson, he's in medicine, and he's doing his PhD in Bristol University. Okay. So my grandchildren all the boys are grown up. All the granddaughters, they're still growing up. I'm split up between Bangladesh and here. Probably my roots are back there, so I probably feel more of out there. But because of all my children, grandchildren, all the family, I'm here. As I said to start with, I have more English friends than our own communities-wise. And I used to be out with them all the time. So I had the freedom to mix with all the every society. There wasn't anybody to stop me. So I liked that freedom. But probably my children have that as well. But if I had stuck to them that, no, you are going to stick only with our community, then I don't know how they will feel. But I enjoyed my life in this country. First of all, I was enjoying myself, doing my business, making money, going on holiday, this, that, and then about 2001, my father and my mother died within short distance. Then I realized life is not forever here, and I have to enjoy it while I can and help the people well if I can. So my life now is, I divided my life is helping people. So I gave my children the education they need. They are okay with themselves. And I divided myself to helping poor people out anywhere in the world, especially Bangladesh. I build houses for poor people. I do lots of things for blind people. I do lots of cataract eye operation out there. So I have a very soft corner for blind people. And so every year I try to build few houses there. Now I'm retired. Now I can afford to do it as I used to be when I was in business. So now I had to do it in a limitation way. Probably on my backhand, I seen the poor side of the world, poor side of life, poor side of everything. From there, my mind was always I wanted to do better. So when I started working in that restaurant, I did not think I was working for anybody else. I was thinking that I'm working for themselves. That's why the owner for that restaurant, I helped him so much to build his business. And he loved to help me to have that restaurant. That I owe part of my life to him. And he died about 9-10 years ago in Salisbury. While I was working in Salisbury, there was a bank manager who used to come from Southampton to Salisbury every Sunday with his wife for a meal. Gradually I come to know them. And she liked me a lot, and she was saying to me, why don't you do a restaurant on your own? Why don't you do it? And I used to say, well, I don't know nothing about it. I don't have any money to, And she used to say, go and see him. Go and see him. So anyhow, the Warminster restaurant, there was a gentleman who asked me to, find a place, and we opened a business between us. So I found the place in Warminster. The gentleman agreed to finance me. The day I put a deposit down on the place, he decided to pull out. Before that, I did not have any clue how to speak to the bank manager, how to do the planning or thing like that. So in the restaurant, there was a financier to come in for a meal. I rang him, and he asked me if I have spoke to my bank, and I said no. So he said, how desperately you need the money? I said, yesterday. So he said, okay, ring your bank and see if we can go and see the manager tomorrow. Which I did, and we went to the bank, and the bank manager asked me who is the other guy is, and I explained to him. The gentleman told me on the way that he worked for finance companies. He can get me the loan, no problem, but the interest is going to be so high. So when we went to the bank, the gentleman explained to the manager, and the manager said, oh, my wife kept on me to come and see me. Okay, fine, what's your plan and everything? And I said, I've got no plan. I don't know nothing about. He said, okay, how much money you got? And I told him I just got a peanut. He said, okay, fine. You're paying so much for the building. You're going to need that much for the builder. You're going to need that much for the furniture and cutlery, cookeries. Have you worked that out? I said, I know. So he did everything for me, the bank manager. And he helped me with every penny that I need. So from there, they used to come in for a meal to Warminster sometime. And my good lady manager of the wife, she used to keep on to me, why don't you find a place, another place, because he's going to retire. And because of her pushing and the support I had from him, I managed to open restaurant one after another.
Fantastic.
And I owe part of my life to my ex-boss. That's the only person I worked for. And my bank manager. Actually to his wife. I copied how the French people running the restaurant. I copied a bit of Italian restaurant because I became friend with every different kind of restaurateur and manager and thing like that. So I mixed everything in my trade. When Prince Charles was getting married, between my chef, we decided to invent a dish, and which my chef did, and we called it Royal Dish of India. So at that point, there is a journalist used to work for Western Gazette, which cover Warminster, Bath, Bristol, and Yeovil. Time to time, he used to help me a lot with the press, something like that. And he said, he gave me an idea, the day Charles going to get married, nobody else in the UK is going to be allowed to get married on that day. So why don't we invent a story that we're going to invite everybody for a free meal if they get married on the same day as Prince Charles. And also he did a draft of a letter to Prince Charles to invite him with his wife for a free meal to our restaurant. At that point, he also put on that letter, Lord Bath, who used to live in Warminster, the Longleat House, he and all his family used to come in regularly to my restaurant. Because Charles is related somehow, I don't know how, with the Lord Bath, to explain that they come in, they use the restaurant. So if Charles come, we'd love to have him here. We got a letter back from the Charles state that on that occasion he's not able to, but in future they might have a look at it. That's how far I got to. I owe a bit of my life to Oliver Reed, Michael Caine, because they was making a film in Salisbury called Triple Echo or something like that. So they was using our restaurant every day, Elizabeth Taylor and everybody. Glenda Jackson. And one day when the Oliver Reed and Michael Caine was having a meal, there's a guy walked in, put a bag on a chair, and told me he's going to next door buy a packet of cigars, and he's going to come back for a meal. He turned around and seen Oliver Reed. He walked up to them and told him that they should leave the restaurant because he just planted a bomb. So Oliver Reed got hold of the guy and kept shouting to me, call police and police. Suddenly I didn't know what to do. So anyhow, I thought probably the guy went to attack Oliver Reed. So I called the police. Oliver Reed took the guy out in the street and with the bag and sort of throw him away. And the guy ran away with the bag. And then we realized that the few doors away there was a city hall of Salisbury. There was a big some sort of thing going in there on that night. All the well-known people in the area, big shots are coming. That's why the plant of bomb was there. So unless they was there, I would have been gone.